From Boston by a man who has knowledge of two aspects of the Boston Marathon. Robert Siciliano is a security analyst. He was also running in the marathon when the bombs exploded almost 2 years ago. Robert, the governor of Massachusetts said following the verdict that he was hopeful it might give the people impacted that day a small amount of closure. Is that likely to happen, do you think, or just wishful thinking?
Well, I certainly think that with any mourning of any loss requires process, and this is part of that process. And I think that, of the almost 300 people that were victimized here, and many others, millions who were affected by it, I think it's a chance to move forward. But some wounds will simply never heal.
Let me ask you, what will be the lasting memories for you of that fateful day and this one as well?
So for me, I was rounding the corner, approaching Boylston Street, right after the second bomb had gone off, and I approached smoke and people running around, and was unsure of what had just occurred. And the law enforcement stopped us and would not allow us to go any further. And when I recognized that the smell was that of a bomb, I got scared because my kids and my family were at the finish line, and I did not know what their situation was. So I basically broke through the law enforcement's barrier, which is something I shouldn't have done. But I made it, to them eventually. But along the way, I saw a lot of things that I wished obviously had not happened, and that I wished I had not seen. And it's still to this very day, it's difficult to discuss. I was one of the people that was not injured, but I will carry this for the rest of my life. And seeing today that he was guilty on all accounts, well, of course he was.
Well, there are the unseen injuries, obviously, the trauma that you were impacted with and so many others on that day. When the verdict came out late this afternoon on the East Coast, were you watching it on TV? What were your thoughts? And what do you think the people of Boston are feeling right now?
It's hard to speak for everyone. I, for one, and the people I've spoken to thus far, are certainly pleased with the result. It's all about getting justice. It's often difficult to get justice through the judicial system due to, how hairy it can be. But here, everyone understood, what to do and how to do it, and they took the information that came in, and I mean, it wasn't too difficult to figure out that this kid did it and how and why. And everybody's, pleased at this point. But, it's always going to linger. It's always going to be there. It's never going to go away. 9/11 happened. It's never going to go away. These things, Pearl Harbor happened. It's never going to go away. And millions of people are affected by it. And going forward, we learn from this, and we try to be more civil to each other as we recognize just how evil people can be.
And never going away, the penalty phase begins on Monday, and it may actually bump up to the marathon. Does that provide mixed emotions as the race approaches, do you think?
It is what it is. This year, like last year, will be emotional. Last year was a tough one emotionally, up to that day. I mean, just thinking about it right now. This year, with all the verdict and everything else, there's going to be a lot of people being introspective. But we're all hoping that we can, run a good race and support the victims, and for me personally, raise more money for charity, and just live our lives and fight the good fight.
Robert, thanks so much for talking to us almost 2 years after the event. Appreciate it.